Most dangerous enemy is your own mouth. Hello. Have you ever realized that your greatest enemy isn't out there, but right inside your own mouth? You think people destroy you with power, money, or violence? No. The truth is more brutal. Right now, someone is plotting your downfall with nothing more than the words you once carelessly spoke. A joke you thought was harmless. A secret you thought was safe. A confession you thought would vanish into thin air. Today, those words are evidence. Today, they are weapons aimed directly at you. This is the silent tragedy of modern life. We believe conversations disappear. We believe people forget, but they don't. Every word you release becomes a shadow that follows you. Every sentence becomes a record, replayed when the time is right to harm you. Every empire that ever crumbled had one thing in common. Someone said too much. Every friendship that died, every career that collapsed, every trust that shattered, behind it all stood a mouth that betrayed its owner. The ancient masters understood this truth. They feared not the sword, but the tongue. They knew that silence protects, while careless words destroy. And yet, we live as if our mouths are innocent. We speak in anger, in pride, in weakness, and in drunken honesty, handing our enemies the exact tools they need to break us. Your mouth is your executioner, and you don't even notice it. Niccolò Machiavelli, the ruthless observer of power, once said, "Those who control their words control their destiny." He was right. Your destiny is written not only by what you do, but by what you allow to escape your lips. Every unguarded sentence is a key, and someone out there is already turning that key against you.
In this video, I will expose 10 psychological traps, moments where your own voice becomes your downfall. These traps are not rare. They happen daily, in conversations you thought were harmless. But once you recognize them, once you discipline your mouth, you will transform. You will no longer be a victim of your own voice. You will rise above those who waste their power through careless speech. If you want to master this, stay with me until the end. And before we go further, subscribe now, because what you're about to hear will not just entertain you. It will protect you, guide you, and change the way you see every conversation from this day forward. So let me ask you, are you ready to confront the most dangerous enemy you've ever had, the enemy inside your own mouth? 1. Awakening. Stripping the truth. Here I will begin unfolding the traps, exposing why people fall into them, and why your mouth becomes your most dangerous weapon against yourself. This is the truth you've ignored. You don't need enemies when your own words are working against you. You assume silence is weakness, but it is the opposite. Silence is control. Words, when unleashed recklessly, become chains that bind you to regret. Every successful person who has ever fallen was betrayed not by strangers, but by their own tongue. It happened in empires, in kingdoms, in modern corporations, and in intimate friendships. History is full of collapsed dynasties and broken alliances, all because someone revealed too much. Think about it. The mouth reveals secrets, exposes weaknesses, and hands your adversaries the very ammunition they crave. The danger is that you often don't even realize it. You believe that people forget what you say. You think a moment of anger will vanish or a careless joke will be dismissed, but in reality, those words become permanent. Someone remembers, someone records, someone waits for the right time to use them against you. Machiavelli knew this better than anyone. He studied power like a surgeon studies the human body, and his conclusion was sharp. Those who fail to command their words will never command their lives. He saw that those who let emotions, pride, or desperation guide their speech were destined to be victims, not of their enemy's brilliance, but of their own lack of discipline. And this is where most people live, in a dangerous delusion. They think they're safe because they're surrounded by friends. They think conversations vanish because they trust the people who listen. They think alcohol, anger, or pressure excuses what slips out of their mouth. But here is the reality. These are the exact traps that destroy you. Today, I will reveal 10 of them. 10 psychological situations where your words will betray you. 10 moments where silence would save you, but instead your mouth will hand over everything your enemies need. These are the rage revelations, the victory parades, the drunken confessions, the breaking points, the sympathy extractions, the gossip exchanges, the authority traps, the revenge revelations, the competence theaters, and the promise prisons. Each one of these is a cage built by your own tongue, and each one is waiting for you to walk right into it. But once you learn to recognize them, you will never be the same. You will become untouchable, unbreakable, untamed. Are you ready to see the first trap, the moment where your own rage turns your mouth into your interrogator's weapon? Trap 1. The rage revelation. Anger is the oldest truth serum. When fury takes over, your brain shuts down its defenses and your mouth becomes a confession booth. Every grievance you've buried, every resentment you've hidden, every dark thought you've suppressed, they all pour out like poison. Machiavelli knew this better than anyone. He studied power like a surgeon studies the human body, and his conclusion was sharp. Those who fail to command their words will never command their lives. He saw that those who let emotions, pride, or desperation guide their speech were destined to be victims, not of their enemy's brilliance, but of their own lack of discipline. And this is where most people live, in a dangerous delusion. They think they're safe because they're surrounded by friends. They think conversations vanish because they trust the people who listen. They think alcohol, anger, or pressure excuses what slips out of their mouth. But here is the reality. These are the exact traps that destroy you. Today, I will reveal 10 of them. 10 psychological situations where your words will betray you. 10 moments where silence would save you, but instead your mouth will hand over everything your enemies need. These are the rage revelations, the victory parades, the drunken confessions, the breaking points, the sympathy extractions, the gossip exchanges, the authority traps, the revenge revelations, the competence theaters, and the promise prisons. Each one of these is a cage built by your own tongue, and each one is waiting for you to walk right into it. But once you learn to recognize them, you will never be the same. You will become untouchable, unbreakable, untamed. Are you ready to see the first trap, the moment where your own rage turns your mouth into your interrogator's weapon? Trap 1. The rage revelation. Anger is the oldest truth serum. When fury takes over, your brain shuts down its defenses and your mouth becomes a confession booth. Every grievance you've buried, every resentment you've hidden, every dark thought you've suppressed, they all pour out like poison. Every time you explain your success, you're teaching your competitors how to beat you. Every detail you share about your methods becomes a blueprint for your replacement. Every story of triumph is a manual for those who wish to bring you down. What feels like pride to you is intelligence to them. The dangerous truth is this: your enemies are not impressed by your victories. They are dissecting them. They are reverse engineering every move, every tactic, every habit you reveal. You think you're sharing for admiration. In reality, you're educating your opposition. Machiavelli once wrote, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when by doing so it would be against his interests." Sharing the secrets of your success might feel like loyalty to your supporters, but it is betrayal to your future. Loyalty should be to your next victory, not to the curiosity of the crowd. True masters celebrate silently. They allow mystery to protect them. They know that power thrives in silence, and explanation destroys it. Repeat this truth. Victory speaks silently. Trap 3. The liquid confession. Alcohol doesn't create new truths. It simply removes the barriers that protect you from revealing them. With every drink, your defenses weaken. With every glass, your secrets drift closer to the surface. And with every drunken word, you transform into an open book for anyone sober enough to listen. The most valuable intelligence is rarely extracted through torture. It slips out through wine. People confess their affairs, their fears, their failures, their hidden plans, believing it's harmless conversation. But one night of drunken honesty can undo years of discipline. Manipulators know this. They create comfortable settings, refill your glass, and ask seemingly innocent questions. While you laugh and loosen up, they stay quiet, sober, and alert. You forget everything. They remember everything. Your words become their ammunition. And the consequences? That drunken confession about your relationship can become evidence in divorce. That careless admission about business struggles can be used by competitors. That temporary openness can haunt you for a lifetime. Machiavelli once warned, "A prince, so long as he keeps his subjects united and loyal, ought not to mind the reproach of cruelty." Be cruel to your own impulses when alcohol flows. The momentary pleasure of connection is not worth the permanent damage of exposure. The wise either drink strategically or not at all. They understand that in a world where every phone can record, every intoxicated word can be weaponized. They choose clarity over intoxication. They choose silence over regret. Say it with me. Clarity is my power. Trap 4. The breaking point. Pressure reveals character, and most people discover under stress that they are weaker than they believed. When deadlines close in, when expectations rise, when responsibility weighs heavy, the mask of composure begins to slip. What emerges is often desperation, and desperation always speaks. In these moments, you start confessing without realizing it. You admit fears to friends. You reveal struggles to family. You complain about failures to colleagues. You think you're seeking relief. But what you're really doing is handing others a map of your weaknesses. Every confession under stress becomes intelligence in someone else's hands. The truth is harsh. Your breaking point is not authenticity. It is vulnerability on display. And while you focus on survival, others focus on opportunity. They watch how you crack, and they record it for later use. Your stress becomes their weapon. Machiavelli once wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." But when you collapse under pressure, you inspire neither fear nor love. You inspire contempt. Respect disappears the moment people see you unravel. Powerful respond differently. They may feel the same pressure, but they refuse to reveal it. They channel it into silence, into calm, into deliberate action. Pressure doesn't break them. It sharpens them. It turns into the very force that exposes their weaker rivals. Say it clearly. Pressure builds diamonds. Trap 5. The sympathy extraction. Not every manipulator attacks you directly. The clever ones approach as victims. They share carefully crafted stories of struggle. They reveal polished versions of weakness. They make you feel like their savior. And while you're busy offering comfort, they're busy extracting your secrets. The trap works because it flips the power dynamic. Instead of being guarded, you feel protective. Instead of holding back, you overshare. Instead of keeping distance, you create intimacy. And that intimacy becomes their leverage. Here's the truth. Genuine vulnerability is messy, raw, and imperfect. Performed vulnerability is neat, convincing, and dangerous. The person who tells you the perfect sob story is not broken. They are baiting you. And your compassion becomes their weapon. Every secret you reveal in solidarity becomes ammunition for future betrayal. Every weakness you confess in trust becomes their roadmap to control you. Machiavelli once observed, Men are so simple of mind and so much dominated by their immediate needs that a deceitful person will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived. Your need to connect, to help, to show kindness. This is what makes you vulnerable. They understand it. They exploit it. And by the time you realize what's happened, it's too late. The powerful learn to help without exposure. They give without confessing. They show compassion without showing weakness. That balance separates the protectors from the prey. Say it with strength. I help without revealing. Trap 6. The information exchange. Every social circle runs on an invisible currency: information. Every rumor, every confession, every careless opinion is a coin in that economy. And gossip is not harmless talk. It is trade. It is intelligence being exchanged, and most people are terrible negotiators. The rules are simple. Information always flows upward to power. Betrayal always flows downward to weakness. Those who collect secrets without giving away their own rise in influence. Those who share everything without collecting in return sink into irrelevance. Look closely at any workplace, any friend group, any community. You'll find information brokers. They appear trustworthy, connected, sympathetic. But they are conducting operations. To them, your secrets are products. Your trust is the price you pay. And your words are their merchandise. The real danger of gossip isn't what you say about others. It's what it reveals about you. Every secret you share proves you can't be trusted. Every confidence you break advertises your unreliability. Every rumor you spread becomes evidence of your own weakness. Machiavelli warned us, the way men live is so far removed from the way they ought to live, that anyone who abandons what is for what should be pursues his downfall rather than his preservation. You think gossip is harmless bonding, but in reality it is warfare, an economy of power where your carelessness is someone else's weapon. The wise become collectors, not distributors. They listen carefully. They contribute nothing of value. They let others reveal themselves, then watch as those same people self-destruct. Say it with clarity. Secrets flow to me. Trap 7. The authority trap. When someone in power challenges you, your first instinct is to defend yourself. You want to prove your worth. You want to explain your side. You want justice. But this instinct is a trap. Authority does not seek your explanations. It seeks your submission. Challenges from authority are not real conflicts. They are tests. They are designed to measure your discipline, your composure, your ability to remain professional under fire. And when you respond emotionally, when you argue, when you justify, you fail the test. You confirm their suspicion that you lack control. The fairness you demand does not exist in power structures. The respect you expect will not be given because you asked for it. It must be earned through results, not words. Every explanation you offer becomes evidence of your limitations. Every argument you make becomes proof that you cannot handle the weight of responsibility. Machiavelli made it clear. Politics have no relation to morals. The moral outrage you feel is irrelevant. What matters is your ability to adapt to the rules of power. And those rules reward restraint. The strong understand this. They respond to authority not with protest, but with strategic compliance followed by excellence. They prove their worth silently through undeniable results. They know that today's unfair criticism can become tomorrow's opportunity, if handled correctly. Remember this affirmation. Results prove everything. Trap 8. The revenge revelation. When betrayal cuts deep, you feel the urge to strike back, and your most tempting weapon is information. You know their secrets, their failures, their fears. You want to expose them. You want to make them pay. But revenge through revelation is self-destruction. Every relationship is a two-way exchange of intelligence. You know their vulnerabilities, but they know yours. The moment you begin revealing what was once private, you are not just hurting them. You are advertising yourself as someone who weaponizes trust. And the world is always watching. Future allies, employers, and partners see your revenge, and they draw their conclusion. You cannot be trusted. Your reputation collapses long before your enemy does. The damage to them may be temporary. The damage to you is permanent. Machiavelli once said, "Severities should be dealt out all at once so that their suddenness may give less offense. Benefits ought to be handed out drop by drop so that they may be relished the more." In other words, if you must strike, do it strategically, never through spilling secrets. Because secrets once revealed cannot be taken back. The powerful handle betrayal differently. They keep their silence. They hold the knowledge, but they do not spend it recklessly. They preserve secrets as leverage for the future, not as weapons of desperation. They know that silence is not weakness. Silence is positioning. Say it with conviction. Silence is my revenge. Trap 9. The Competence Theater. Insecurity has a loud voice. When you feel unqualified, uncertain, or afraid, your mouth tries to compensate. You talk too much. You explain too much. You drop names, interrupt conversations, and perform confidence instead of living it. But this theater fools no one. The harder you try to prove your worth through words, the more you reveal your inadequacy. Insecurity creates desperation, and desperation always leaks through speech. What you intend as proof of strength becomes evidence of weakness. What you mean as confidence becomes noise that strips you of respect. True competence never advertises itself. Real expertise does not require constant explanation. Genuine confidence does not beg for validation. When you perform these qualities, you expose that you do not possess them. And worst of all, you become predictable. People learn exactly which buttons to push to make you talk too much, reveal too much, and act against yourself. Machiavelli once wrote, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." The danger you feel when others underestimate you is nothing compared to the danger of exposing your emptiness. Better to remain underestimated in silence than to prove your incompetence through noise. The masters understand this. They let their actions build their reputation. They allow their silence to create curiosity. They are not desperate to be seen, because they know their results will demand recognition when it truly matters. Repeat this truth. My work speaks louder than my words. Trap 10. The Promise Prison. When pressure rises and expectations close in, your mouth looks for escape. And the easiest escape is a promise. You promise to deliver, to improve, to change, to achieve, without having the means to back it up. In the moment, promises feel like solutions. They ease the tension. They satisfy others. But every promise is a debt, and debt always demands payment. Promises you cannot keep destroy credibility. Every unfulfilled commitment becomes evidence against your reliability. Every broken word proves that your voice cannot be trusted. And the more you promise without substance, the more your reputation sinks into the mud. Machiavelli once said, "He who builds on the people builds on the mud." Promises are that mud, unstable, shifting, impossible to build a future upon. People want to believe in your words. They cling to them because it gives them hope. But when that hope collapses, it buries both you and them together. Wise rarely promise. They underpromise and overdeliver. They choose reality over fantasy, results over rhetoric. They build reputations not on words they cannot fulfill, but on actions that speak for them. And because of this, their words, when spoken, carry weight. Say it firmly. My word is my bond. 2. Liberation, the way out. Now that you've seen the traps, you cannot unsee them. You know the danger. But knowledge alone is not power. Power comes from action. So how do you break free from the prison your own mouth has built? The first step is discipline. Not the discipline of others, but the discipline of silence. You must train yourself to resist the urge to explain, to defend, to confess. Every time you feel pressure to speak, remember this: silence cannot be used against you. Words can. Second, shift your energy inward. You don't owe the world your secrets. You don't owe them your strategies, your pain, or your victories. Stop feeding them information. Start feeding yourself strength. Learn to enjoy privacy. Learn to celebrate in silence. Learn to suffer in silence. Those who guard their words create a fortress no one can penetrate. Third, choose carefully where you place your voice. When you speak, let it be intentional. Let it be strategic. Let it carry weight because it is rare. People trust silence more than noise. And when a person who rarely speaks finally chooses to speak, their words echo louder than 1,000 careless voices. Finally, practice self-command in every situation. When anger rises, breathe. When pride swells, restrain. When pressure mounts, pause. When manipulation plays on your sympathy, step back. Your silence in those moments is not weakness. It is control. It is proof that you belong to yourself and not to the schemes of others. Machiavelli understood this. The most powerful were not those who spoke the loudest. They were those who spoke the least, yet controlled the most. That power is available to you, if you are willing to master your own tongue. Repeat this affirmation. I command my words, therefore I command my life. 3. Conclusion. The decisive declaration. From this moment forward, you are no longer the same. You are not careless with your words. You are not reckless with your secrets. You are not a prisoner of your own voice. You are in command. Every empire falls because of loose tongues, but your empire will not. Every friendship dies because of broken trust, but yours will endure. Every career collapses because of unguarded speech, but yours will rise. Why? Because you now understand that silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. You will speak only when speaking serves you. You will stay silent when silence protects you. You will no longer give enemies the tools to destroy you. You will no longer give manipulators the keys to your heart. You will no longer hand over your victories for applause. From today, your words are no longer cheap. They are rare. They are sharp. They are deliberate. And because of this, they carry weight. They command respect. They build trust. They create power. This with certainty. From this moment, I will not be betrayed by my own mouth. I will master my silence. I will master my speech. And because I command my tongue, I command my destiny. Now the choice is yours. You've seen the traps. You've heard the truth. And you know the cost of careless words. The question is simple. Will you continue letting your mouth sabotage your future? Or will you rise above and master the discipline of silence? Type your commitment in the comments right now. Write this affirmation. I master my mouth. I master my destiny. When you declare it, you anchor it. When you write it, you own it. And if this message opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because every careless tongue is one more empire waiting to collapse. You could be the reason someone saves themselves from disaster. Most importantly, subscribe now, because this is only the beginning. In this channel, you will continue to uncover the hidden psychology of power, influence, and control. Insights that others will never tell you. Truths that will shape your destiny if you dare to listen. Remember this final truth. In a world where everyone is shouting, the one who masters silence will always be the loudest voice in the room. Your future self will thank you for the decision you make today.